Hey everybody, so I about 3 months ago started doing OMAD, and I'm gonna do a video that kind of brings together all the things I've been doing, but I just wanted to talk about OMAD specifically today. So that's 1 meal a day, and like I said, I've been doing this for about 3 months now. I haven't done it every single day, but I would say 80 to 90, probably closer to 90% of the time I'm doing the 1 meal a day. And this is something I've always intermittent fasted, but I've always eaten lunch and dinner and just skipped breakfast. So usually about an 8-hour eating window. And I had tried doing 1 meal a day during different periods of time, and it would be very random where it was more just like I felt like it. So I just wanted to talk about the benefits, the negatives, and what it did for me, So I did a video on not drinking alcohol a few weeks ago, and when I posted that video, I didn't remember what the actual action into not drinking was. And when I was writing out this video, I actually remembered exactly why I quit drinking, and it's actually because I started doing the OMAD. So in early March, late March, like March 27th, late March, I started doing OMAD. And I guess that's more like 2 months. And I was used to coming home and drinking every day after work, but I had also eaten all day. Well, when I started doing OMAD, I got home the first day, and I had just been so shocked at how much energy I had the entire day. So I didn't eat the entire day, but I had so much energy, and it's how I used to feel when I fasted. I quit fasting for quite a while because I felt like it was a very stressful experience to me, but I reduced my stress in other areas and I was able to start again. And I'm so glad I did, because it's allowed me to continue fasting and getting that energy back. So of course, that's one of the major benefits for me, is just so much more energy than before. But I got home and I had so much energy I didn't even feel like drinking that day. And then I think the second day I ended up drinking. And one of the other big reasons, I don't know if you've ever drinking a beer on an empty stomach, but for me it kills my stomach. And then by the time it's past like a certain point at night, I don't like drinking either, because it massively affected my sleep. So I think the second day I ended up drinking, and it just didn't make me feel good, even though I had tried eating and then drinking it. It didn't make me feel good, and it really helped me in continuing it. But then there was still times on the weekends where I wasn't necessarily doing OMAD. I would do 2 meals a day. I had split shifts off, and on my days off sometimes I would eat lunch and dinner. And I could have easily drinking those days, and that kind of just turned into me not drinking. So if you're interested in that, go watch that video. But so for the OMAD, one of the massive benefits is just felt like I had so much energy. Now, one of the negatives with that is I felt so hungry, usually between 11 to 2, when I usually would eat anyway. So I've always naturally woken up in the morning and not been hungry until lunch, unless I'm really stressed out. But there would be some point during the day from around 11 to 2 where I would have pretty intense hunger cravings and really want food. And I didn't do it. And each time I just kind of proved to myself it's fine. And each time it went away. And so I would have this little bit of uncomfortableness, and then it would go away. And my energy would drop when I would get really hungry, and then it would go right back up. So versus when I was having food during the day, I felt like my energy was just consistently low. I never felt super energized, maybe the most in the morning. And by midday, I felt like my day was I was just exhausted, tired, just low. Whereas when I was doing this, I would have a little bit, I'd be good energy, a little bit of a dip, and then just the same. And so that was really nice, just for being able to get work done, being able to bring my all to it, and then even just my family life. So The other big reason was I was eating food at home. Or not at home, I was eating food at work. I was getting, like I said in one of my other videos, I was getting energy drinks, I was doing all these things, drinking beer, and it was extremely clear doing the OMAD how quickly my budget changed around. And it was like watching my account grow every day because it wasn't decreasing every day. Every time I didn't swipe the card, it felt like an affirmation to continue. So I felt good, had a little bit of a craving midday, and I was just like watching my account grow. Now, I will say I probably didn't do OMAD exactly how maybe the technical term is. My eating window was probably more like an hour, maybe less. But most of the day I would get home and I would have like a small meal, and then I would go on a walk and I would come back home and I would have another one. So within about an hour I would eat 2 small meals, and both of these meals were smaller than just my dinner was before. And so like I massively decreased my caloric intake, and therefore I started to lose weight, feel better. And so that was a massive benefit. And then save on my grocery bill, as well as just all of the drinks I was doing. And the high energy just kind of continued into me making other better decisions. Even on my days off, I started to just be like, I'm not gonna eat lunch. The main times, and I'm glad I did, the main times I would come home and I would eat lunch would be at a really stressful day at work. If I was really stressed out, I would have really intense cravings, and I would just come home, and in that case I would usually do like a high fat, high protein, and I would feel a lot better and be able to move on. So as I've been doing this, I think about a month ago, and I'll get into this in future videos, maybe 3 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, I went from low carb, and then I went into attempting to get into ketosis and keto, and I've been doing that. And so I was hoping one of the things that would help with that would be kind of appetite suppression. And I still have to say, I did a video on my coffee. The thing that helped with appetite suppression the most was the coffee. And so when I quit the coffee, I also was like trying to get into ketosis, and I still can't say to this day that I feel like I'm consistently not hungry. I feel like I'm consistently hungry, which I think is a fine thing. But I'm actually fine with it now, whereas I felt like before I was constantly seeking out and really wanting food, and now I feel fine with it. Now, when I do get to, I've been cleaning up my diet, doing all these other things, I'm consistently losing weight, which isn't the only goal. Build muscle, lose weight, feel good, have energy. When I get to a weight that I want, I do think that I'll probably try to start having 2 meals again, not necessarily because I love food that much that I want to eat it twice a day, just because it's hard to get all of my caloric intake in one meal. I used to be able to do it just fine and be able to eat like 5,000 calories in one meal, but that's also when I was eating really poor quality foods, going out to fast food where you can go to Taco Bell and easily consume a few thousand calories in one meal. And now I'm eating hearty food that my stomach's a lot smaller, it's just shrunk my stomach up, and I just have a much harder time eating that much food. So just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, so that's my video on doing OMAD. I've still been doing it. I'm not like doing it religiously where I have to do it. I pretty much just do it to feel good, do it to have energy. One of the main reasons I did it was there was so much food at work. There was consistently food everywhere. Donuts, candy, like all my favorite candies were at my desk. And just the availability of all sorts of good food were in front of me all of the time. And I kind of just made the silly decision that I don't have the self-control to just like only have one thing or to not have stuff, and I just decided I'm just gonna have nothing. So I would eat, from that moment on, I ate nothing at work. And after I made that decision, it made a massive difference. I quit having things that I know I don't do well with. When I have dairy and other issues, it flares my lungs up. It does all of these things. I feel awful. I don't do good with sugar. And I just decided, no, I'm done. I'm not gonna eat here and have these bad oils and all of these bad things that make me feel tired, lethargic, and make me feel horrible. And that is why I started doing OMAD, and it's definitely been the benefit. So anyways, thank you for watching. If you're interested in more content like this, please give this video a like, follow, and subscribe for more. I think those were both the same thing.